for Social Security Scotland. Those with disabilities are fearful of being left behind once again with the return of the British Bill of Rights and the corresponding abolition of the Human Rights Act, if it's going forward in the parliamentary agenda. Its worrying re-emergence rekindles the fears of many disability organisations regarding the removal of statutory protections for those with disabilities, at a time in which we should be strengthening the protections in place for those with disabilities to ensure that they can live with as few barriers as possible. This government risks regressing the regulatory regime for disability rights. The Human Rights Act offers a critically important mechanism for recourse for those with disabilities, and to abolish it would be to weaken avenues for those with disabilities to enforce their rights. So I'd welcome the Minister telling me I'm wrong and this isn't going to happen. I think we all would. The British Institute of Human Rights has drawn my attention to a story highlighting the necessity of challenging inequality for disabled people using human rights legislation. Bryn was 60 years old and lived in supporting living. He had learning disabilities, epilepsy, was non-communicative and blind. Staff at the home became concerned that Bryn had a heart condition and called a doctor from the local NHS surgery who came to visit. Bryn had an independent mental capacity advocate who was supporting him. The advocate attended a multidisciplinary meeting to represent Bryn. At this meeting, the GP stated that he would not be arranging a heart scan for Bryn as he has a learning disability and no quality of life. Bryn's advocate challenged this by raising Bryn's right to life, Article 2 in the Human Rights Act, and his right to be free from discrimination, Article 14. The advocate asked the doctor if he would arrange a heart scan if anyone else in the room was in this situation, and the GP said yes, and then he agreed to arrange the scan. The Human Rights Act gave the advocate the legal grounds to challenge the discrimination and take steps to protect Bryn's life, but sadly Bryn passed away because of his heart condition before any treatment could take place. I'd like us all to reflect on that. And I want to thank the British Institute of Human Rights for bringing this to my attention. Clause 5 of the Rights Removal Bill destroys positive obligations, which is the positive duty on public officials to protect people from harm. The new bill allows public bodies to refuse to act to safeguard people like Bryn and to raise financial resources or operational priorities as the reasoning behind not taking action. Disability rights groups across the UK are gravely concerned that public officials won't take proactive steps to protect disabled people from harm due to discriminatory attitudes or the resources required to protect that person, and that the Rights Removal Bill removes accountability for this. This is very, very dangerous and increases the likelihood of more awful stories like Bryn's occurring.